So here's my boiler. I have 2 heat pumps. I have 2 100,000 BTU hydronic coils on top of my heat pumps. My water heater, I have 2-inch copper, approximately 4 foot long, with the drain removed. I brought the outlet of the drain over to the bottom of the 2-inch copper. It runs solid pipe to the top of the copper and then inserts into where the anode rod used to be. This is the supply for the boiler. Comes into the bottom and it's soldered just into the 2-inch pipe. So the hot water boiler is circulating water up around that 3/4 inch pipe that feeds my water heater, that's tied into my water heater. And there's the return back to the boiler. So basically, when the coal boiler is running, I can turn the electricity off to the water heater, and unless you take multiple showers, this water heater will heat itself with the boiler. I had to install a, there it is, a tempering valve, because if the water in the water heater sits idle for more than, I don't know, maybe 8 hours, the water will actually reach the boiler temperature, which is a 60 degrees Celsius set point. That's what I run my boiler on. So the water in this water heater after 8 hours will reach 60 degrees Celsius. So here's the boiler. I had the controller mounted to the top of the boiler where the 2 little screws are. The controller seemed to get too hot, and the LED screen would kind of blank out. The controller would still function, but the LED screen would blank out. So I moved it over here on a shelf, and I've just got a little rag on top of it to keep the dust off of it. And I do leave my circulator running all the time. I don't shut the circulator off, and that is to heat the water heater. So I'm constantly moving water through the water heater and the hydronic coils. That way I am heating the water heater when the heat is not on demand. The boiler is really efficient. I can pretty much lay my hand on the flue when I'm in supervised mode, which is impressive. The boiler tubes that are in this channel, about every ton of coal, I have to go in and de-ash those and de-ash the flue. So you know, there's a little bit of cleaning into it, but compared to an old 40-80 year old boiler, the efficiency is much better. You'd never be able to put your hands on a on the flue of a 80-year-old coal boiler. Alright, so I do not, well, here I am in supervised mode. I pretty much stay there. Hardly do I go into demand. As you can see, I've got a lot of ash in here, but that's because I do not clean out the ash out of this bottom door. This furnace is full of ash all the way up to the tweers. Once a day, when I come down in the evenings, I will take a track shovel and I'll clean the ash out from the back and the front and this left hand side, which has more room because the tweers are offset to the right. So I'll take all of this ash out down 4 or 5 inches below the top of the tweers. There we go. The reason I did this was because when I first had the furnace, and you can see one right there pretty good, that clinker that's running all the way up to the top of the furnace. Well, a lot of the times that clinker would fall off when this ash pan was empty, and I would lose a lot of coal that was just half burnt because it was falling out of the tweer rather than sitting up here and smoldering. So once a night I put 2 buckets of coal in the hopper, and I do not empty this ash pan out until the end of the season. Pretty good furnace. It's an EKO 35. I will say that also I play with the coal input time, the auger time in supervised. So on warm days I might only be on a 3-second feed on the auger, but as it gets colder I'll bump it up to 4 seconds or maybe 5 seconds to try to keep that water stabilized, so I'm not going into high fire mode all the time. I'm only burning 1 to 2 buckets of coal in a 24-hour period doing this. Hope this helps.